John 16:21, Jesus said to his own disciples, I have much more to say to you, more than you can now bear. But when He, the Spirit of truth, comes, He will guide you into all truth. He will tell you what is yet to come. God, in His mercy, does not tell us everything because sometimes we are not yet ready to hear it. It is more than what we can bear. And if He really knew all that lay ahead down the path, God knows that we might never get started to begin with. So it was with Abraham. God did not give Abraham full information. Hebrews 11 verse 8 tells us that Abraham obeyed and went even though he did not know where he was going. God did not tell Abraham, He simply said, Go to the land I will show you. Excuse me, Lord, what land would that be? I will show you when you get there. It was sort of like a mystery trip, except that Abraham had to leave everything behind in order to go on this one. God gave Abraham a direction, but not the final destination. When Abraham set out, he left no forwarding address. He could not tell his relatives where he was going because he did not know it himself. Abraham knew that God knew the final destination, and that was enough for him. And so he set out in faith. Abraham's obedience to God's leading is a stunning example of trusting God's word even when you cannot see. Setting out in faith means that you don't wait for full information. You operate on the information God gives you. You act on what you know, trusting God will fill the details as you go. Why doesn't God tell us everything? First of all, if He had all the information up front, we wouldn't need any faith, would we? If He could see where it was all going, there wouldn't be any need for faith. But when we obey God without all the information, that gives us the opportunity to exercise faith, which brings God the glory. Secondly, some things are on a need to know basis. And guess what? We don't need to know. We may not like that, but it's true. There are some things we are just not meant to know in this life. And then, thirdly, sometimes we're not ready for full information. Has God been speaking to you about something lately? Perhaps you have come to a place where you have discerned God's will and now it's time for action. But something is holding you back. You're hesitating. Perhaps following God's leading in this area is going to cost you and you're not sure if you can handle the cost. Perhaps you don't have all the information and you've been waiting for God to fill in the details. Don't wait any longer. Once you have discerned God's will, you need to set out in faith. Follow God's leading promptly. Trust God to cover your losses and don't wait for full information because it probably isn't coming. God has good plans for you. Will you follow His lead? Isaiah 42:16 promises, I will lead you by the way you have not known. Along unfamiliar paths I will guide you. I will turn the darkness into light before you and make the rough paths smooth. These are the things I will do. I will not forsake you. He's promised to be your lantern to light your path and a compass to guide. Can you trust His lead? Then follow Him. Be blessed.